it's on its way, but it's not here yet.
If you just can you last time we spoke, obviously, you were anticipating kind of the week. How do you feel like you mentioned 3 guys you were kind of looking at? How do you feel like the week went recruiting wise?
I mean, a little disappointing to be honest with you, but not unexpected. I mean, the people we were going against, it's going to be hard to win some of those. So I mean, essentially we got one senior in Beetle that we have to replace. We're anticipating, there might be another transfer or 2. So if we get one early, we said that was going to be good, and then we're going to continue to recruit a lot of guys late. Like the other thing people got to realize, we're going to add 3 guys to the mix next year, in Quinterly, who's a McDonald's All-American, Rojas, who was first team JUCO All-American, and then Juwan Gary, who was playing really high-level basketball when he went down. So you add those 3 guys, you lose the one senior. I think we'll be fine. We're building for the future. The one kind of unknown is what happens with Kyra. We got some good options that were, and that was hard too, because nobody that we were recruiting really knew whether Kyra was going to be here. Is he not going to be here? So we're going to have to recruit some kids throughout the course of the year that are going to sign late. And if Kyra does end up leaving, then I think we'll have some guys willing to jump into the mix. And if not, then, we got 2 really good point guards next year, Quinterly and Kyra. So we don't want to be unprepared for that, but that was a little bit of a deal too. So, probably a little bit disappointed. We were kind of shooting for the stars a little bit, to be honest with you. I mean, we said that as a staff, though. Listen, we got one senior. We really only have to get one. Let's not settle for, somebody that maybe we should get. Let's go after some guys that kind of turn the thing around. Let's kind of swing, and if we swing and miss, we'll still be all right. So we're going to end up with 1. I can't comment because we don't have the NLI, but we'll get the 1. So we got the 1 to replace, and I'm super excited about that. Once we do get the NLI, I can speak to that one a lot more. So we can talk a little bit more about that.
So you mentioned Kyra and the NBA stuff. I know there were some scouts out and NBA people at the game the other day. What kind of feedback have you gotten on Kyra so far from just people that you've talked to?
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely interested. I mean, there was 12 of them at the Rhode Island game, 12 NBA teams represented there. We've had over half of them come through our practices and watch. They're all kind of wait and see. I mean, offensively, with having, and he's got decent size at about 6'3", and his speed and his skill level, he can pass, dribble, and shoot. Like, they're very intrigued because he's so young. He just turned 18. They want to see how good he's getting defensively, and then I think, some of that is how good your team's going to be. Like, so the better our team gets, the more his stock goes up too. Can he lead a team? Can he guard point guards at that level? That's some of the stuff they're looking for. And I think he's trying to get better at all that. And I think if he continues to come, I think he may be there. He's pretty talented. And we're right now some early second, maybe late first. I mean, if he can get himself into the first, then he's most likely going to be gone, and we would encourage him to do what's best for him and his family, and this program will be all right. But we're gonna try to make him as good as he can possibly get here while we've got him this year, and then kind of tackle that once it comes in the spring.
What was the feedback you gave the team after watching film, and especially the difficult first half that y'all had this last game? What was kind of some of that?
I mean, the biggest problem is our turnovers. We like to play fast. We're playing fast. Our skill level's probably not where it needs to be. It's also the 3rd game in this system. They got to get used to it. They definitely were not used to playing at this speed here before. So playing at now, you can play this fast and not turn the ball over. I think we were 4th in offensive tempo last year at Buffalo, and for a large part of the year we were top 10 in turnover percentage. We finished 26th. I looked it up yesterday as I was going through this. We finished 26th in the country in turnover percentage, so still high. We're one of the worst teams right now in the country at turning the ball over, but we've got to get more guys used to handling the ball, more guys used to playing downhill, more guys used to playing in an attacking mode and making those reads, playing as fast as we like them. So some of that's a new system, some of that's just I got to do a better job teaching them how to play the way we want to play. So we spend a lot of time in video on it, and then we just got to do a better job developing their overall skill level. And in the meantime, we got to figure out ways to put our guys in situations where they're not turning the ball over as much as they are. So coaching staff's got to do a better job. Players got to do a little bit better job getting in, working on their skill level. But turnovers was the biggest problem. Defensively, we're still giving up way too much in transition. So, to me, that's an effort thing, which you hate to coach effort on, but we're going to have to coach effort now until we can start sprinting back. And the turnovers play into that. They had 33 points off our turnovers, but some of it was not our turnovers. We just got to get back. So, and then it didn't help that we didn't make shots. I mean, we started 0 for 10 from 3. So, if you hit a few early, it's a completely different game. And then I didn't like the way that we handled adversity. I told them going into the game, it's our first road game, and I don't know if any other team in the SEC is going on a true road game to a mid-major or mid-plus. I don't know if that's happening. So we didn't put that schedule together. That was here before we got here. So, is this team ready for a true road game against one of the better A-10? I mean, that team's, I think, was picked 4th in the A-10. The A-10's supposed to be a 4-bid league. Like, that's supposed to be an NCAA tournament team. So for our 3rd game of the year to go on the road, I knew it was going to be tough. So we told them, like, we're going to hit some adversity. We're going to turn the ball over. We're going to miss some free throws. We're going to miss some layups. We're going to miss some open threes. How do you handle the adversity? It can affect our effort on the defensive end when you hit some adversity on the offensive end, and I thought it did. So I was a little disappointed with that and kind of got after them in the second, at halftime about that. But I will say this, to be down 22, to cut that thing to 5 with 3 minutes to go, and we had an open look from 3 in the corner, thought it showed a ton of resilience about the guys that I love to see. I think we need it. It's not gonna be the last time we're down in a game this year. We just got to be able to fight back, and that's where we told them too. If we would have had a little bit better answer to the adversity that we saw in the first half, that's not a 17-point halftime deficit. It's more like 7, 8, maybe even 10. Now when you fight back, now you can take a lead, and it's a different deal. From cutting it to 5 to taking a lead, it's a lot different. So there's a lot of stuff we got to clean up, but we'd like to be 3-0 right now. We're not. We didn't. Nothing's come easy to us so far with the injuries, and not to make excuses for anything at all, but we've faced some adversity here, and we gotta answer it. We gotta do better with it, and I think we get better. I'll say this though, I've always scheduled this way. I would rather play tough teams early, get exposed, and fix it, than play a bunch of cupcakes, get overconfident, and then have to fix it in conference. I'd rather be playing our best basketball come the middle of January to the middle of February, March, which I felt like our Buffalo teams did every year, rather than playing our best basketball in November and December. So I do think we're growing, we're getting better. We got better in practice today. We will continue to get better, and if we continue to do that every day, we'll be in a decent spot come January.
What have you seen from Furman? I know last year, was it Villanova that they beat? And then I know they played LSU, and it was a close game until like the middle portion of the second half.
You talking about
Furman?
Yeah. Yeah, Furman, if you look at the KenPom rankings, they're ahead of us. If you look at those rankings, they're the best team we've played up to this point. So they're really good. They're one of those mid-majors that's got all the confidence in the world. Like you just said, they beat high majors last year. And they've got skilled enough players that they can take you one-on-one. They can make shots. They're disciplined. They're really well coached. So it's going to be a big test. Now, it's a little bit similar to Penn in the style that they play, and that Penn beat Villanova just like Furman did last year. They beat some high majors. So we got to do a better job than we did against Penn in executing the game plan. Now this is 3 games after Penn, so have we matured since the Penn game? I sure hope so. And I think our guys had a pretty mature approach to practice today. So, but we definitely have our hands full against Furman. They just drilled Loyola. Loyola is one of the better mid-major teams in the country, and they handled them pretty well a couple of games ago. So they're playing at a pretty high level, and that's the thing too with playing these mid-major schools. Like, we're young. We have one senior who didn't play here up until, and he really is still banged up in Beetle. So we've got some juniors, but we're young. Like, these mid-major schools, they've got seniors that have been through their program, playing in the same system. For all those players at Penn have been playing in that same system. All the players at Furman have played in the same system. There's been no coaching change, and they're older. So to play those teams early in the year, it'd be a little bit better if we played them in December than we did early November. But is what it is. We've got to make some improvements on some stuff and come out ready to play against Furman on Tuesday.
Let's do one more question, guys.
You mentioned kind of you taking a little bit of responsibility on teaching a little bit more, coaching up effort, some of that kind of stuff. How are you? You're a competitive guy. You've had a lot of success in a lot of other places, high school and Buffalo. How are you handling some of this right now? What are you kind of learning about your own coaching style that you know?
Yeah, I mean, I hate losing. We're not used to losing. We lost 4 times all last year, so to have lost twice already, yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. You don't sleep well, but at the same time, you got to remind yourself, and I got pretty good assistants that remind you, like, it's new. Our first year at Buffalo, if you go back and look at those first, November, December, that didn't go well either. So sometimes putting a new system in takes a little bit longer for the guys to know it. I certainly don't want to walk in, blaming them. They're the ones on the floor, but we giving them a new system to run. They got to learn it. So I got to take as much ownership as I possibly can while holding them accountable for everything we can hold them accountable for. So the effort stuff, I'm not happy at all about it, and I let them know about that. Some of the turnovers, we just got to get used to playing this way. Some of them, though, they're just careless. They got to get better. So, and there's a fine line between holding them accountable and blaming them. I certainly don't want to blame them, but they need to be held accountable for stuff that they have control over. So we haven't lost our mind yet. We're going to be fine. I really do feel like that. We haven't been healthy yet, so we got to get healthy. I mean, Herb played pretty well. Herb had not been through a live practice yet. So the fact that Herb turned the ball over 5 times, well, if Herb could practice, if he was, and I thought Herb did an unbelievable job with his recovery, and with the injury he had, he probably shouldn't have played when he did, but he did everything he was supposed to. He did play, but at the same time, you couldn't practice him because he wasn't able to. So now it's a little rusty. He has 5 turnovers. Now we got, Beetle. I don't know if he'll be able to play Tuesday. So it's just battling some of that, getting in a new system, playing up tempo, and we don't want to go away from what we want to do. We're going to play up tempo. That's what we want to do. We just got to learn it. So if we can learn it and get wins, everybody be a little happier around here. But sometimes you got to take some lumps and got to have a little adversity in life. And how you handle adversity, I think, speaks a lot about your character. And I think our guys are doing a pretty good job of it. My guess is we'll come out ready to go on Tuesday.
Thank you, Coach.